time as Marcel.
Hello and welcome to our workshop on Terra AnVIL. So we'll be starting shortly here. And if you have questions, you can enter them in the Q&A, and I think we'll go ahead and take them during the session so that if people are stuck on something, they won't get too far behind. Otherwise, we'll have an opportunity to address questions at the end. We'll have a video that's available after the session is completed. So I'm going to turn it over to Levi to offer a few more introductory remarks before we get started here.
All right, thanks everyone for coming. So we have time today. I encourage all of you to try to follow along and use this time to get yourself started on Terra AnVIL and actually create your workspace and do some computing during this time. We have with us today doing most of the presentation, Sehyun Oh is a postdoc in my lab who has done a lot of work doing both analysis and development to make analysis more user-friendly on the Terra AnVIL platform. And we've been working along with the team of Martin Morgan, who his group has developed the AnVIL package for Bioconductor and a number of tools along with Vincent Carey, that have made AnVIL now a much more friendly place for Bioconductor users. So I really encourage you to try to follow along. I will be here. I have a parallel session with someone else in my lab as well right now, so I might duck out at some point for a little bit, but I am presenting a little bit here today too. So I will stick around and also do my best to answer problems that come up while you're trying to do this. So please don't feel shy to post questions during the workshop. We can give them to Sehyun as soon as there's a good moment to do it, but you can type a question at any time in the Q&A. And if there's something that you actually want to discuss, it is possible to also raise your hand and come up on stage. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Oh and thank her for preparing this presentation for us today.
Okay, thanks for the introduction, and hi everyone, welcome. Let me share the workshop screen. Okay, so can everyone see like the size is good, I guess? Okay, awesome. So let me see. Okay, that's good. So yeah, so today I'm presenting Terra AnVIL cloud-based genomics platform. So this will be introduction, and then today I'm plan to focus on like just a brief introduction of what it is, and then more of the showcase, so what you can do using this platform. That will be the focus, and I hope you can find something is useful for your research. And then I plan to put the survey at the end, and which one is the most interesting to you, and that will be helpful for us to improve this whole project. But all the content is I'm like actually representing a group of effort under NHGRI's AnVIL project, and the content of this workshop is contributed from the BioC AnVIL team listed here. So many people's effort is here. And this workshop is introducing, introducing a cloud-based genomics platform called Tera. And the cloud-based genomics platform is a potential solution to the challenges with the rapidly growing size of genomics data. So it caused like some issues like data transfer, storage, access, sharing, and computing, and this goes on. So we'll go through what Tera offers to solve these issues and demonstrate how to use it in an R-friendly way and specifically through the bioconductor package called AnVIL. Let me just, okay, there is, I logged on to Tera, the workspace, are active now or later? Okay, I will just answer this. That's, I guess RStudio part is pretty much your interest, and I'm Bernie-ish. And yeah, that's the part that it's not on yet. So I will show you how to set up that later. I apologize for the background noise. In New York, there is someone parked, parallel parking, and then many people are upset. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is just the regular day. And then, so before to, okay, I think all of you can hear. So to play with the platform, you need to register the Tera account. Yeah, Chloe, don't you miss this? Account registration is free, and all you need is a Google account. So there was a survey sent before the before the conference, and everyone who provided the information through the survey is registered and properly linked to our billing account, so you can use it. But if you don't have an account but still want to try, please create your Tera account. So you just go here. Oh, it's gonna put me, yeah, and then I'm logged in already, but you can go to once you go there, you show sign it with Google, and then you can just set up. And then leave your, so if you do that, then leave your email in the chat, then Nitisha and then Lori maybe, yeah, we can add your account, add your email to our billing account, so you can use our billing. So, and then once we start, let me see. Okay, so sometimes it takes a while to start many runtimes from the same billing account. So we will probably I plan to start the runtime once before we go to the hands-on session. But I will introduce briefly on the platform, and just I think everyone has this access to this page, just like how to navigate this this page. So the thing is, I will go through the overview, and then as I mentioned, I'm gonna do the more of the showcase part, and depending on the time requirement and the time requirement and type of showcase, I divided them into 3 sections. So first, use cases, I'm gonna go through something that's hard to do the live, and then live demo, I'm gonna go through the few examples, and some are like a little more experimental, but I see some people might find it is useful, so I will do that. And then last hands-on session will be much more established workflow that it's manageable to do within the workshop time period. And in the reference, I put a lot of other information. So main package vignette, and then Tera's user guide, and then how to use RStudio session in Tera. That's the video taped by Broad Institute. And then you can follow that, but I will go through that with you guys in the live. And then the Bioconductor team did a pop-up workshop through the span of 6 weeks. We did a once a week 1 hour session going through the contents more in depth, and then all those contents are available with the video record. So that one you can go here if you want to see any specific topic in more detail. So let's see, that's the time frame and learning goal. So I think first page we are done. So let's go to the overview. So there are actually many different cloud-based genomics platforms already out there, and their feature is highlighted by what kind of data is hosted and what kind of analysis tools are available. And these two are probably one of the main factors that you need to decide. You need to decide which platform works best for you. And here is the short list of them. And there are more, but these are actually popular. And then like I'm familiar, I use all these guys. So these are the examples, and then we will focus on the Tera today. So let's go to the Tera part. So this is the diagram of what Tera is. So through Tera, you can so it's like more of the AnVIL project, but through Tera, you can have a secure remote access to public genomics data, and without paying a storage fee or transferring them around. And then you can bring best practice tools and pipelines already implemented to Tera and easily apply them to your own data set, or even data set of your interest, because data sets are many data sets are available in in Tera already. And you can also do interactive analysis using familiar interfaces like Jupyter Notebook, Galaxy, RStudio, and I bet most of you are interested in RStudio, and we'll go through that. And Tera's computing resources are based on Google Cloud Platform, and on-demand computational capacity change is very easy and flexible. So that's what Tera is offering, and then what Tera is about. So briefly, I think this question come up a lot, and I mixed up a little bit of term AnVIL a little bit, and then Bioconductor's package name is AnVIL. So people are just like, what is AnVIL and what is Tera, and are they same or are they different? So what they are is Tera is name of the platform, and AnVIL is one flavor of it. So and then based on the different like the consortium. So AnVIL is one of NHGRI's consortium, and then different consortium had used the Tera in the tailored to their own needs. So the thing is, good thing is, so AnVIL is one of the flavor, and then there are other flavors. The thing is, behind the scene, or the work, and then the tools, and then data sets are shareable. So so it's more of the different entry point, but everything, the resource wise, you can access to everything. So Tera is again the Tera. So the short answer, the Tera is a platform name, and AnVIL is the project that's more designed for the NHGRI's research purpose. So, and this is AnVIL logo, and then Tera is one of the platform. And there are a few more behind the scene resources, but you will mostly working with the Tera platform. So that's what Tera is. And then before going through what's available in Tera, I'd like to go through Workspace Concept first. So Workspace is a main building block of Tera, where different resources are delivered. So the things I show here are actually all implemented under the workspace, and you can make multiple workspaces. So depending on your goal, you can use a workspace to like host data, or building production pipeline, and collecting analysis templates, or just doing interactive downstream analysis. Or you can do all of them in one workspace, which can be a huge benefit for certain use cases. And this is a screenshot of Workspace Header, and there are 5 sub-menus. So first, dashboard is where documentation and workspace information lives, and you can organize and access data in the cloud under the Data tab, and perform interactive analysis under notebooks. And right now, the RStudio is, you need a customized cloud environment, and then our logo will show up here. I will show you later. So notebook or here, and then you can use the terminal here too. But notebook is where interactive analysis happen, and you can build a bulk analysis under workflows. And the job history page is where you can monitor and troubleshoot your workflow submission. So this is the workspace you will use a lot. And then so next, how to explore Terra resources. So to check the available resources, you can go to this hamburger menu on the top left, that where you do the set up your account, and then click that, and then you click the library, and you will see the 3 tabs. That's data, showcase, and workspace. So those are the main resources, one of the straightforward way to find the resource. And so I will do the data part. So, and Terra hosts both open and controlled access data sets. And here are some of the available data sets in Terra. And those are, I just categorize through the various awards. So AnVIL is hosting like CCDG, CMG, GTEx, Emerge, and so on. And then stage is TopMed and other like Human Cell Atlas, TCGA, Target, all those data sets are available. Just I want to make sure that the registering Terra itself does not automatically grant access to all available data, but Terra makes authentication part really simple. So just link your ERA account once, and then it will figure out which data set you have access right to and not. And then when you share your workspace with others, that Terra automatically figure out that the other person has access or not. So they handle that security part, so you don't need to worry about that and make that part easy. So those are data, and then showcase and tutorials section are intended to ensure users can reproduce results and learn established methodologies. So for now, it's a new and interesting, of course, COVID workspace, and some of the featured workspace list is long. Last time there was a Bioconductor too. Actually, there is a Bioconductor featured workspace. And then GATK's example workspaces are also available, so you can explore this if you are not sure about the starting point, and if you wanna see what's most established workspaces. And then that's a workspace showcases, and the code, and the last code and workflow section contains various tools and tasks that make up the workflow. So this section, so these are the workflows ready to go, you can use. So these terms are not super clear, I bet, but I will go through a little more about what they are. And this section has also the link to the other helpful open source workflow repository. So one is Docstore, which has a lot of workflows registered already. And then other is a broad method repository. So you can find a lot of methods from Broad Institute are there. And then this is a brief introduction about the structure, what's available, like resource-wise within Terra. And then, so right now we have 20 minutes in. So I will go through bunch of examples today. So these are the summary. And so in the use case section, I will show you how to use the Terra as a companion part of your publication, and then how to use Terra for teaching. And then live demo session, I will go through 3 examples that AnVIL published, which is bring the R package into the Terra workspace, and then the vignette is in the Jupyter notebook format, so it can be useful for reproducing the analysis. And the one example is I don't know how many of you were there, but I did a short talk on genomic supersignature yesterday, and then I have actually the intense use cases set up, and then I have that in the static website, but I think first thing is I want to try, and when people want to try, I want to make it easy to start. So I set up the Tera workspace that can be useful, that can be easy reproducible setup, and then using RStudio. So that will be one demo, and then the last one is like little beta state, but it can be, I see this is useful for some people because this is using Tera from your RStudio local machines RStudio sessions. So you can leverage all the Tera and then Google Cloud resources without going through actual UI in case you prefer using the command line or R console. And the last will be hands-on section on DSeq 2. This is established workspace in Tera, and you do demonstrate a lot of elements of Tera, but much smaller data set and then faster runtime. So it can be useful. And if you so I allocate time about 30-40 minutes on hands-on session. And if there is any question, interest in going through more of showcase examples, we can do that too. So going back, so first use cases. So let me see. I think I will go to Q1. So let's see. I'm just checking conversations quickly. I don't think SRE data is available. Okay, so so let's just go through the question quickly. So what kind of questions are there? The site, playback of a workspace that is showing. Yeah, please. Workshop. Oh yeah, workshop is available. And SRE data, I think they are not readily available, but I think SRE data is in the Google Cloud, GCP, and then it should be very fast. And Letitia or someone else, can you give a comment on that? Levi, SRE is
yeah. So the new why is the name escaping me right now? The SRE toolkit. They have a version or they have an option for Google Cloud, and if you choose that, then you will access SRE data from a Google bucket using the same commands that you would normally use, and they will download super fast. Mm-hmm. So it's not that it's in it's not that it's in AnVIL, although there might be a way. No, I don't think you can just like directly connect them, but like with most of the data that it's on a Google bucket, and usually the idea is you download it, you analyze it, and then you delete it. You're not going to download the entire sequence read archive or access it in your bucket, but it is on Google Cloud, so you can probably get it at about 50 gigabytes a second.
Yeah, so the benefit is, even though it's not readily available, but it's on Google Cloud, so you don't need to pay any storage, you don't need to copying around, and then it will be super fast to access that through the web. So that's the benefit. And then so I think that's one of the main question. And then so next we will go through use case. So this is so first use case is Tera for paper. So this is for my work, and then the link. So this workspace. This linked workspace provides a fully reproducible example of CMV and SMV analysis of tumor samples without matching normal profiles, described in the recent publication. So this is what I built, and then I will go, like, there is data tab, and this is a synthetic data set, and then notebook. I have different analysis, pre-processing, and workflow is like I have 6, 7. That's actually like this chopped up pieces. So this is whole workflow, and then I have like the I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different workflows that's implemented in the under workflow session. So this is how I implement my published work. And the major benefit of using Tera for published work is first, like data storage and then compute intense pipeline and downstream analysis are all available in one place. So it's much easier to reproduce the published work, and then sharing code and providing additional information not included in the paper are available through Workspace, because that space is all yours. There's no character limit. And my Workspace, I just briefly glanced through it, but the features, I will go tell you the feature in the different sections. So data-wise, my paper use a TCGA control data because my workflow start from the BAM files. But to share with the general public, I cannot use the control data set because, as I mentioned, it will be cleverly tell which one who can see it or not, and then only people who has access can see it. So to make this workspace public, I use a synthetic data set, and then this synthetic data set is provided through Tera, and then because of that, I don't need to pay for storage, and then it's really fast to use it. And public reference files are stored in Google Cloud bucket, GCP bucket, and then some are directly available through Tera. So something like well-known, like popular or most frequently used one, something like a reference genome are already there, and then I don't need to again pay for storage or like copy or move it around. And you can incorporate the researcher's own data. So in my case, BAT file and then BCF files, those are stored in Google Cloud GCP, and then some are available through with requester pays. And as I just mentioned, when I glanced through, workflow is chopped into the 6 part, and then those are implemented in the workflow, under workflow. And then I have 5 Jupyter notebooks using R. So notebook, you can use both Python and R, and then 4 for data preprocessing and 1 for downstream analysis. And then the AnVIL package make the direct connection between data and the notebook session. So it's easy to do the downstream analysis using your analyzing the output from the workflows. So this has been pretty easy to communicate complicating workflow with other people, and then I don't need to dig out my code to share, because just only thing I need to do is like direct people to this workspace. So that's the benefit, and then Levi will talk a little bit about how to use it for teaching.
So we have a few questions, Sehyun. Mm-hmm. We should go over them. So okay. I'll just read out the questions so everyone's aware. There was a question if Tera is available on AWS. No, it's not. It's available only on the Google Cloud right now, but there are efforts in place to make it available on Azure as well, Microsoft Azure as well pretty soon. The other question is, can we launch an RStudio Shiny app through AnVIL? Yes, we can. You can launch an RStudio environment on the AnVIL, and when you start your Shiny app, it'll get served onto a different port. But when you close your cloud environment, the Shiny app will get taken down. You can't leave it running. I think there's a default number of hours. I don't know if this is, I don't know, I've never reached the limit, but I think there's a default amount of time you can keep your RStudio running, and then it'll just get automatically taken down. Maybe Levi can comment on that.
It does. I should just highlight, though, that unlike the the Orchestra app, you have a persistent disk. So when it gets shut down, no data are lost. It's just the runtime environment that is shut down, so that it lowers the inactive costs.
Right.
Okay, that's all the questions for now. Okay. Levi, I will stop sharing. So you want to put your screen?
Sure. All right, so if Sehyun showed you the link to get to this page from her, I think it was waldronlab.io/AnVIL workshop, and one of the articles takes you to here, which was these series of pop-up workshops that were done by different members of the Bioconductor team on the AnVIL project. So I just wanted to point out here, there's a whole series of these. There's an introduction from Martin Morgan. Martin Morgan did a lot of these, and people in his lab, Nitesh and Kayla. So let's see, we have introduction. We have the AnVIL package that Sehyun mentioned, running a workflow, this Rna-Seq differential expression, which Sehyun is going to summarize here. This is a longer version that you have, single cell Rna-Seq. And then this was the one that I presented that I'll just very briefly show you today. I'm going to show you, just give like a 5-minute outline, because if you want the full version, you can go here, and there's also a recorded video of me doing the full thing in about 45 minutes. And then also this AnVIL publish workshop and some stories. So I'm just going to click here just to show you what this is about. You'll have an idea of if it interests you. So as background, I've used AnVIL now for teaching several courses. I use it for teaching a course in biostatistics, fairly traditional biostatistics at CUNY. It's not a genomics class, it's just biostatistics. And I have also used it for teaching a smaller course in applied statistics for high throughput biology. And I tried to take everything I've learned from teaching 3 courses now using Tera AnVIL and write it down here to make it easier for other people to do. So the main learning objectives from this, let's see if I can get there, are setting up a workspace for teaching a course. So if you participate today, all of this has been done already, but it'll give you an idea of how to do it yourself. Sharing AnVIL computing, either through a billing account or through a shared workspace. These are 2 ways of doing this, giving you an idea of which way would work best for you, but making it so that your students don't have to pay, so that you pay for their computing as we're doing for all of you today. Introducing a couple of billing options. The one available to you immediately as you start out is direct from Google, which means you have to set up a Google billing account and with a credit card, and then they charge you directly onto the credit card, which is quick, but it's also a little bit, I don't know, it can be inconvenient, and it's not exactly the way grants work. The second one is the way that I use now, using either prepaid or postpaid services through a reseller. There are a couple of them. The one I use is called Onyx. There's another one called, sorry, the name is slipping my mind right now. Do you remember, Sehyun? If you Google Strides discount program, there will be a couple of resellers that come up. But the Strides discount program is great if you have NIH-funded research, because they offer a discount on all of your Google Cloud computing that is in the vicinity of 20–25%, and it also removes the need for a credit card and replaces it with more grant-friendly things like invoices and purchase orders. And then I also I go into a bit of a deep dive here on ways you might use GitHub to deliver course materials using a central GitHub site, session-specific Git submodules, pulling these onto Docker Hub, and then actually this course is available on the Orchestra app that you're using for this conference. You can select, if you look for CUNY Biostatistics 2, it's there on Orchestra, and I describe what I did to get there. So I think I'll just very quickly show you a couple of highlights here. Setting up the workspace really step by step. This is that going probably deeper than you ever might have wanted to go into GitHub Actions. I describe and give a template for a GitHub Actions hierarchical workflow where every class section has its own repo. And when I make a commit and a push to any one of those, it triggers an action on the main site that pulls the changes via Git submodules, rebuilds the main site, pushes it to Docker Hub, and then it goes to the Orchestra app, and it also goes to students on AnVIL, and describes what students have to do to get the code and things from GitHub into their AnVIL Terra workspace step by step. Yeah, there are tons of little catches that I've found along the way, just like if you want to make commits to GitHub from AnVIL Terra, you need to figure out a way to authenticate from a cloud instance, and there are a couple of options using SSH or HTTPS. It's a little bit different than doing it locally, but it's all covered here. So I think rather than go through all of this, I will end here and just take any questions if there are any about doing this.
Okay. Thanks, Levi, for review that. And I think you guys see you can ask question anytime on the chat or Q&A session. And now I will also go through live demos. So, and by the way, there are some question about where the Levi the screen, like where can you find? And then that's like, I already put the link in under the reference, pop-up workshop. It's a little prettier version, but you can still see everything.
So you want to bring, Nitesh raised his hand again, I think, because there's another question for him in the Q&A.
Oh, should I do something to make him see?
Or maybe, I'm actually not a host, so I can't bring him on stage. Oh, one of the hosts did though.
There we go. Thank you. So there's a Q&A question from Cheng. Is there a RESTful API to request computing resources and submit a task on the AnVIL? So the AnVIL R package exposes a lot of APIs for resources, but not the actual computing itself. That is something you will not be able to do from your terminal, or like if you write some code for it. Like, so you'd actually have to like go on to the AnVIL and like request resources and such. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thanks. Okay. So now I'm gonna go through the live demo session. So content is a genomic supersignature and the microbiome analysis. This is a example in the biological topic way, and then the genomic supersignature I will show, using that as an example, show how to use and publish and how to do analysis in RStudio. And microbiome analysis is a little beta status, but I will show you how to do how to use the Tera Google GCP resource remotely. So first, AnVIL publish. So to do that, I'm gonna go our orchestra page and Tera, and then there like last year one and the 2021 is, oh, I should have launched it, but I bet you guys are somewhat familiar with orchestra at this point. But okay, maybe I spin to last video. Oh. So once I sign in to the session, to my session, you can see AnVIL workshop here. And I will go to, does anyone say something?
Sehyun, can you increase the font size in your browser? Yeah, perfect.
Very good. Let's do this. Okay, so I enter into my orchestra, and then the home looked like AnVIL workshop, and then I go to the vignette, and then I will do the live demo part. So, and the publish, I think, let's see. So the other thing is like, anyone were there at the Natitia's work package demo last night about the fast binary installation. So I highly recommend to use AnVIL instead of BioC Manager for installing package because it's really fast. And I mean, Nititia, if you want to say anything, you can comment on that. But I'm trying to switch to AnVIL instead of BioC Manager. Oh, okay. So I install AnVIL publish. And then I check whether Google Cloud SDK is installed or not. And then it is. And I actually set up that for this specific, for workshops. So there are two things you need to install, which is the Google SDK, and then the Notedown, which is the Python package for to convert the R Markdown to the Python notebook. Both are available in the this orchestra page. So once I check Google SDK is there, and then I set up my account, and then you should update with your own.
Sehyun, I think we've got a couple of questions about what you're doing here exactly. Like, what platform are you on? And
I am an orchestra. I think I'm an orchestra that how can I say this? So all the Bioconductor workshops has the RStudio setup that's designed for that specific workshop topic. So actually, this is another good resource. Sean put this up, and then you go this. I think someone, Lori, put the link to the orchestra. So once you go there, actually there are a lot of RStudio session already available. So if you ever go through the past year's workshop and so on, and then you want to do the you want to reproduce or try by yourself, you can go to the orchestra page and then find the RStudio session that's already built. So there are already 62 entries. And then I go search with Tera, and then there is the RStudio session I used last year, and this one is the RStudio session I use for set up for this year. And once I click launch, and I already launched it, so I'm not do it again. But then it's gonna take a few minutes. I think it's faster than a few minutes. Like pretty quickly, it spin up the RStudio session that has all the required things installed already. So that's
maybe what the question was getting at is what can running RStudio on your own computer or on Orchestra, how does that relate to Tera AnVIL, and how can you use Tera AnVIL when you're not in Tera AnVIL?
Oh. I'm very confused. So the question is where I am right now, or how to use RStudio in, because that's
it was where you are, but I read into it confusion about why, like, if this isn't in Terra AnVIL, then what does it have to do with Terra AnVIL? And we can see that there are AnVIL related commands on your screen, but you're not in Terra AnVIL.
Yeah, so this is like that's pretty okay. This is like, I tried to make it so this you can do within Terra. I mean, maybe this is just me. For me, it's a little more straightforward, or this will be more of the use case that like, oh, I want to make my, like, I work in the package in my local machine, and then I want to set up the workspace that has a vignette like runnable right away in the Jupyter notebook. Then I would just want to like, kind of push my package to the Terra's workspace from my local machine. So I'm just, and then Orchestra is more or so mimicking the, more or so representing the local machine at this point. So what it does is you can do this within Terra, but I'm trying to, this will set up the Terra workspace remotely. That's what I'm trying to do. Does it make sense, anyone? Okay.
Yeah, and maybe I could take a moment just to show off about some of your other work. That Sehyun has created an entire metagenomics workflow, for example, that does heavy lifting in processing metagenomic data using Terra AnVIL, but without you ever having to open the Terra AnVIL interface. It's using their computing, but you control it from your local computer. So and it's using this AnVIL package.
Yeah, after that, I can jump into that use case. That will be a little more straightforward. I was thinking that this can be the more interesting, but so then, okay, let's do that then. So okay, that's useful. So this is this Orchestra represents your local machine, and then if I go to the BioBakery, that's the one of the use case I was mentioning earlier, that like use Terra and then Google Cloud resource remotely. So again, you need to just set up your account. So my account, so this one you should be use different thing. I apologize for this one is not. Then for you, you need to do BioSeed 2021 workshop. That's the billing account you guys are attached to. And then I'm installing the packages from the GitHub. So this RunTerraWorkflow and then the BioBaker, those together I can run the BioBakery, the microbiome analysis workflow from workflow remotely. And then I'm using AnVIL here, and AnVIL is pretty much behind the scenes. So the RunTerraWorkflow and BioBaker is more the wrapper that make the AnVIL more easy to use. So I just checked that earlier that Google Cloud SDK exists, and then this RunTerraWorkflow can right now take BioBakery and then Salmon workflow. It can run those two. And so right now I'm using Terra and Google Cloud resource, but it's all in the R session, and then looks like just R function. And then I set up my new workspace name, and then I clone the workspace. So I make the copy of template, and then and my computer, my section wants to know who I am, and I will just set up my So now I'm cloning. So this action is making the copy of template workspace. And then this, I set up this already. So when I have the workspace name, it cannot be redundant. So it has that it already exists. So I changed my workspace name to the microbiome. And then this is the resulting workspace. So I'm using this building account and then set up this new named workspace. And then I will just delete that for now because I don't want to make multiple same copy. And then this current input function with the account information and billing project and workspace, those are main information that which one you're talking to. And then it shows what kind of input to this workflow is there. And then for BioBake, the microbiome analysis, I have the more specific sub-function that can print out the information the users will change most frequently. So the input files are saved in the under RunTerraWorkflow Google bucket, and then these are 4 FASTQ files, and then there is the text file that has this information input path. And those are so if you want to run this, you just save your FASTQ files in the Google Cloud and then make the table of those address and then feed them to this workflow using update input function. So these are the URL to those information. And I also have a metadata. And then it's including.
Sehyun, I have a quick question actually. So I wanted to address Cheng's question again. Yeah. And he asked a question if he can run workflows via the RESTful API. And it seems like you're able to do everything via the BioBake package and AnVIL package here.
Yes.
But is there any setup needed on the AnVIL UI before you get into this?
No.
Or was I completely wrong?
Well, I was a little confused, but I thought you were the expert, so I wasn't sure. The only thing you need to do is you have account. That's pretty much it. Nothing.
That's it. But can you request compute resources and everything from the AnVIL package?
So I mean, you mean like in the UI, the button like workflow run button, the thing? Yes.
Right. And so when you hit the workflow run button, like the compute resources are allocated automatically, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yes. I take back what I said earlier, Cheng. Sehyun is the expert.
No, Nitish is expert. So input information, you can update this. And then I can just do launch workflow. And this it's thinking a little bit. And then workflow is successfully launched. So now in the Tera, so those workflow, and then with your own input, it started computing. And you can check the submission status. So I tried a bunch, and then one I just aborted. Like you remember earlier, I said microbiome and then just stop. And then one is submitted, and then you can see the. Yes. So was at the top first the account email. This should be yours. It's update with, you cannot see this. So update with yours, this account email, and then put the billing project name. I will put that billing project name, policy 2021 workshop. I put that in the chat, and then you can run this from Orchestra. Exactly same thing. Okay, so workflow is launched, and you see submission, and then actually you can abort submission in case you think something is wrong, and then okay, just talk back and forth. So workflow is successfully aborted, and then list output will give you the. I will just give you the output from the latest successful workflow. So I tested a bunch, so I did abort, submit, but there's one workflow that succeeded in the past, and then it will grab them unless you specify which submission you want to check. It will pick up the most recent one and then recently succeed one, and then let me check. Let's do this. It takes a little bit time because, for example, this workflow have like several hundreds outputs because it go through all the log file too, so it takes a little bit. But let's say that any output file has the human in their file name. I got the 5 outputs, and then so this part, this is the you can find the specific submission. This is a little probably less frequently used, but if you want, you can use that. And if it's a table, output is a table format, there is a table head function that put the output name and then number of rows you wanna print out, and then again the basic information of account, email, account and billing, and then workspace name. So this is a head of the output, head of this table. You can before you decide whether you want to download this specific output file, which is get output function, and I will just not do this. It is for now, but before you actually download, you can just check how the output look like, and then you can.
I wonder, Sehyun, we have not too many people answering the polls, but most of them have not managed to run this yet. I wonder if it would be helpful if I demonstrated just the connection. I was successful.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I could just show what I did. You would have to.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. I'll just do it very quickly, just to give people a bit of a chance to catch up. So all I did, I opened this RMD file. I changed my email address. At the top, there was this bit here. This bit here, I put my own email address in. I left this the same, because it was correctly set, and all of you should have access to this now. If you don't, let us know and we can add you. I ran this code chunk. I ran this returned true right away. I saw available analyses, has these 2, selected biobakery, made a name for my own workspace, and then clicked this clone workspace, and I did get an error at this point, which Sehyun didn't get because you were probably already authenticated. So I took this and I opened the console or the terminal here. I should stop that again just to enter it again. Yes, continue. I click here. Oh, did it take? You're not seeing my new tab, are you?
Oh, that's what. Yeah, I don't see that.
Here, let me try sharing again so you see the window that it opened up. Come on. Huh. I'm not succeeding in screen sharing. Try it once more. Okay, my screen sharing is not working for some reason. But what I saw one of these pop-ups, sign in with Google, that you've seen if you've tried to use your Google account to sign into a site. I chose my email address. It said Google Cloud SDK wants to access your Google account. I clicked allow. This is all what I'm doing. And then it gives me a code to copy. And I go back to my RStudio server, enter that verification code, and then I'm set. And then everything that Sehyun does works. And I've never gone into the Tera UI, except when I created my account.
Yeah, so once you have account, so billing, so you need just that email address and then billing account. Those two pieces of information is all you need. And then after that, just you can do it from your.
This is bad. I clicked stop screen share, and yet it's still trying to share my screen. Are you able to share your screen again, Sehyun?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Can you see my, I think it's, can you see my screen? I think.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. It's a slightly hectic. Sorry about that. You need to jump around a bunch of things. And yeah, when I prepare this, I have like 3-4 RStudio session, and then where am I? I just keep asking to myself, and then like, so, but hopefully it's not, doesn't make you too upset. But so that's the one of Bio Bakery, how you can do. And then the AnVIL published part, just one person, I don't remember name, but asked then how it looked like. So you can check this too. I put the link in my workshop. But other thing, I think when oh, by the way, I put the poll on like what use case will be most interesting to you. And then one thing people seem so interested in is, and I think it's one of the most important thing, is using RStudio in Tera. So that part is under the live demo under Genomics Supersignature Analysis in RStudio.
So it sounds like we're transitioning back to Tera here for the moment, but there was one other question that I ran into the same issue myself from Deborah. So when you are trying to clone the workspace, authenticating to Google Cloud, so we saw that you have to like run some command in the terminal, right? Like gcloud auth.
Oh yeah. gcloud login, auth login, that one, yes.
Yeah, and I get a message back saying I'm running on a Google Compute Engine virtual machine. It's recommended that I use service accounts. So I don't know if there's some security implication about having your credentials put onto like essentially an unsecured instance, your Google credentials. But it sounds like there's some complexity with Google Cloud that maybe people need to like look at the documentation to try to get this to work. Maybe you don't run into this issue if you're just using a local running
that's
your laptop on the cloud.
Yes, that's one of the reasons I made this like more of a live demo. You're more than welcome to try, but that's the part. Yeah, so once you're using your local machine, like authenticate your local machine, it's fine. But I feel slightly hesitant about doing it in the orchestra. I talked with Sehyun a little bit about this authentication issue, credential issue. I don't have clear answer for that. So,
but yeah, in the interest of time, maybe we should transition to actually looking at what we can do on Tera. And,
yeah. So yeah, but at the same, So sorry about that. I don't have a super clear answer on that. So so we just did tried so AnVIL publish. I showed there is a link that how it looks like if you want to see. how it look like. We just check the microbiome analysis, how to do it remotely. And then the one last showcase is using the RStudio in the Tera, Tera. So so this one is Genomics super signature paper. So this one, I just wanna like show you how you can use. And then one thing is like do the complicating analysis setup, not too complicated analysis setup really quickly. So what you do is, so I just want to make what kind of thing you can do. So Genomics super signature, it's my package, but I have the static website that has like the analysis here. So, and then I bet like, one thing is like you want to reproduce this, but how to set up. And I have all the code exposed, but the one way I can do easily is in Tera. So I set that up so you can follow this, but let me put this one at the side and then you can go see it at the same time. So I will go to the workspace, and I don't think you will see that many workspace, but so you can go to the searching bar in the top, and then you put this, or you can create your new workspace. But for now, I will just do this way. So you can practice clone the workspace. So this is the workspace, and then you go to the upper right, and there is the tab. And then, so now we are in the step 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can clone. And then it will give you the pop-up window. The clone workspace name need to be unique. So I will just do GSS paper, something like that. And then if you click, I think you will see 2 building project, 2021 workshop, and then 2021 workshop RStudio. I will just, to make it like less confusing, I will just use the RStudio for now. And then you don't need to worry about the authorization domain because there is no control data set here. And then once you clone workspace, and it will bring you to the cloned workspace. So now you have an identical copy of the original workspace, but you are the owner of this workspace, so you can do anything within here in this workspace without affecting the template. So now how you can start the RStudio session. So here you go, I already set up RStudio here, but I will do it again. So I think, okay, let's make it look same as yours. So delete everything. And so I think you will see this, like there is no cloud environment on your cloned workspace yet. And then you click here and go to the customize button and application configuration. You go scroll down, there is a community maintained RStudio environment here. So that's what I just do is in this web page, just click this icon, customize, and then pick the image and drop down menu, and then pick the image. And for just to make it fast, I will do CP4. And then you can customize a cloud compute profile and then create. And it's gonna take 2 minutes, but now it's like your environment is being created. And once that's done, it will say that stopped. So right now it's creating and then show you the cost of running this compute engine. And then once it's done, it will show stopped. Okay, is everyone following? Okay. Okay, so it's taking a little too long to create. Sorry about that. So anyone is like, anyone who wants to follow can follow right now. Oh, one person can follow. Two. Yeah, 3, 4. Wow, you guys are making fun of me. I know that there is no 5 people following. Okay. I think this is part of reason for this is probably maybe 5 people are doing it. Like many of us are doing it at the same time. Takes a little longer to set up. So okay. Have you opened by requirement? Oh, the question was disappear. Okay. I feel a little bad, and let me pull up some. So I think this might taking longer than usual. Okay, believe me, it doesn't take this long. If you are the only one or only couple of people are doing it, it seems like many of you are doing it right now. So I will. So right now I just leave this here for now. Once it's done, it will give you the pop-up that has the RStudio. Oh, yeah. Okay, so now it's done. And then once you click launch cloud environment, and then it will give you this RStudio. So it's just, yeah, so now you can just work on RStudio as you used to, the way you're familiar with. And for example, I just mentioned that I want to make all those analysis reproducible. And what I did is I set up the startup message here, and then I just copy and go to my RStudio sessions and go to the terminal. And I had a copy and paste. And this my startup script will install 96 additional packages to do all this analysis, and then handful of large data files, grab all of them, and then put them in the right directory. So after that, anything you just RMD go run, and it's gonna run everything. So it's gonna, when I timed it earlier, it's like take about 5 minutes or so to set up this, and then I will come back here. So it's keep running, and then we'll come back here to see how it look. And then I will build the only generate the most recent version of RStudio. Letitia, can you answer this one? The most recent version of RStudio. I know it's not the Tera people pick specific version.
Yeah, I can answer this question. So the RStudio image so RStudio itself is fairly recent on that image. It's I don't know the exact version, but that RStudio you're seeing is based on a Docker image which we provide, and it's not like the bleeding edge RStudio, but maybe it's like at most a couple of months old. That's it. It's nothing like completely outdated. If you have an RStudio session open, you can just open file and check out the version pretty easily.
I can't tell if we have resolved, or Nitesh has resolved, Deborah's Nuskern's question yet about authentication. I wasn't sure what the issue was, if maybe you didn't have a Terra AnVIL or a Terra account yet, or if this has been figured out yet.
Oh, there was other question. Deborah's question.
I think it was a little bit idiosyncratic to using the API from Orchestra as opposed to what we're doing now on Terra. But so maybe we can follow up if we've got time at the end of the session, since I think we're sort of have switched gears to working on Terra rather than working on Orchestra.
Yeah.
Sounds like Deborah's managing to follow along from Terra now. So.
Okay.
So,
there was another question. I'm sorry, I'm not since I was used to being a host before, so I could bring questions up onto the stage and clear them, which I can't do now. But I just saw another question: will it only generate the most recent version of RStudio? The answer is, when you're lucky, you might get the most recent version of RStudio. But I think in general, you can't choose the version of RStudio. You'll get what's available unless you're using it. There is a, you didn't see it here, but there you can create a custom environment with custom images, and then you could get any version of RStudio that you wanted. But if you're choosing one from the drop-down menu, it'll be what's available, and hopefully it's not lagging too far behind the current Bioconductor release. That's not entirely under our control because it's user interface things. So we provide Nitesh could talk more about that too, but he provides the Docker images in a timely manner, and then we wait for the interface to be updated as soon as possible.
okay, so I don't know. Okay, it's running. We have only 10 minutes or so. I think we will see how this run script. So this is just an example, but the take-home message from here is how to start the RStudio, and then from there you can do a lot of things. And this is one of the things you can do, and all the other things, or even access the data from your workflow from this RStudio session is available using our AnVIL package, which I put the vignette link to the under reference in our workshop page. And then the good to see someone is ahead of it and then started the hands-on session. But the last part I was planning to do is doing the Rna-Seq analysis, go through Rna-Seq analysis workflow. And this is like, as I mentioned earlier, it's like a smaller data set, much manageable, and you can go through all different parts of workflow, notebook, and data part of the Tera. And then, so I think it will be useful for you to get a sense of what it is. But based on the pour, just, yeah, so reminder that give some feedback. Based on the pour, you guys like the remote access, the RunTerraWorkflow kind of thing. So our team will be more focused on that. But this is, yeah, and then it will be really helpful. You can give the feedback on that. So it's under the pour what will be the most likely use case you will use if you ever use. And oh, that's cool. So before we go, I will just go through briefly in the hands-on session. This one hands-on session we planned. And I put the screenshot of the steps, so I hope it's straightforward to do. But also I just show how to clone. So clone meaning make your own copy of template workspace. So it will be same for here again. So you go to the workspace, and then the search workspace window, and you tap space, you put the workspace name, in this case DSIC2 BioSIC 2021, and go to the clone. And this is again like earlier BioBay we did the clone workspace. This is what happened actually in the Tera. And then I will just do the thing, building project. I added you to the BioSIC 2021 workshop or workshop-RStudio. You can use either of them. I just want to try to separate the cloud runtime environment. And you clone workspace. Someone else's. Clone workspace, copy 3. And then the different thing is here, you don't need to customize to use the Jupyter notebook. You just use the default one. And then I think my default is already set. And once you go notebook, and the analysis is ready here. And so that's just related to cloud environment, but I will just go, so you can do run workflow. So we touched a bunch of downstream analysis part using the notebook and then RStudio, but haven't touched the workflow part. So I will show you. So if you go here, you can see the workflow, and then, okay, this is a Rna-Seq Analysis workflow, and then you can see here there is a script. So this is a workflow script of what's actually happening when you run this workflow. And then inputs, you can put inputs here, and then you can put directly the file location or using the Tera, the data stored in the Tera. So if we go there, under data tab, these are the data sets stored in the linked to this workspace. And you see there's a FASTQ file, and then the condition metadata. And you go to the workflow, and you can select the data. So we're gonna do the participant set because we wanna do the paired Rna-Seq, and select data, and then you see that there are 16 participants, 16 entries you want to pick, and you go to the output part, and then you can, so now we will use default, and then this dot is connect output back to the data model. So whatever your output will be linked and moved together with your input. So you don't need to try to name it clever way to remember which one is which, how it's connected, where it comes from. So it's always all output will link back to the input file, and then save this, and then that's it. You just run analysis and launch, and then it's gonna take about 10 minutes or so. So now you can see that when we did the BioBay which step was actually done remotely, and then submitted, and so this will take for a while. And let's see what happened to the RStudio session. Oh, okay. So that earlier I did RStudio, and then setup. I tried to run that setup script, startup script, and now it's set. So I go Genomics super signature paper, and everything is there. Some of the large data files are already there. So let's try something like, let's do NARS data. So this is, so I go to the RMD file, and then just knit, and so this part is not like Terra specific. You can, in theory, you can all do all this in other platform, but I just want to make sure that how like just copy and paste one chunk of snippet can set up everything ready to go. So yeah, so just it made a vignette successfully. So after that, so right now this RStudio session is set up to run all the RMD files like under this widgets directory. So anyone who wants to do this can set up fairly easily.
Sehyun, can we answer a question real quick?
Yeah.
So people are wondering about the RStudio version. So if you go to the help inside of the RStudio help, it's
oh
no, right there, like yeah, help and say about RStudio. So you'll see that it's version 1.4.1717, and that is the latest release stable version of RStudio server that is available for public use. And that's what is available. So you can see that we keep it like as updated as possible, making sure that there's no breaking changes when we push the version forward with what is on AnVIL already. So you can feel fairly confident that RStudio and Bioconductor are very stable on the AnVIL, including the binaries which we make available through AnVIL install.
So using RStudio is this, and then yeah, so this is right now running. And yep, so yeah, we have 3 minutes. Any question, and how people are doing?
So are we waiting for questions then, or?
Yeah, so right now, yeah, so right now I show the, let's go back to the summary so people can remember what we were trying to do. So the overview. So just kind of like wrap up what happened. It's like a little hectic, but believe me, once you got a little used to it, it got easier. But so I just go through the what Tera is, what kind of resources are there, and then apologize for a little hectic, little too many things are happening, but I want to make sure that you guys can find something useful here. So I try to show different use cases that that I mean, just before you jump into or invest on this platform, you need to have idea what kind of thing you can do. So that's what I was focusing. So I showed the CMV analysis, how to set up the published work in the Tera, and then how to use Tera for teaching. So like all the same environment is easily shared, and then the billing is handled easily. So that's the one use case. And then AnVIL publish to make your package vignette like in a Jupyter notebook format, and so you can do analysis. And then genomic super signature using the analysis, fairly analysis setup in the RStudio. So using RStudio and Tera, and then RunTerraWorkflow. So use the Tera remotely from your own laptop without going back and forth to go to the UI. And the last one is the DSIC 2 that's actually use the Tera's UI for bioinformatics analysis. And then here we show only the DSIC tool, but there are, as I mentioned earlier, there are a bunch of different workflows that's already established. You can grab them and then plug in your own data, and then you can do the complicating analysis or batch analysis using the very flexible computing resources. So these are the examples, and then, I mean, small fraction, but the things you can do using Tera. And I hope you find one or some or any of them can be helpful for your research. And we'll be here, and then, yeah, you can contact for any further question. And then if you want to try later, still send us, there is the survey form. You can just go and then like fill out again. Then I will keep adding you guys on. Probably we will keep this billing account at least till the end of till the weekend. And so if you want to try later, just send again or direct message to me. Then we will connect. We will set you up for the billing so you can play with additional different time. So. Yeah. Great.
Yeah. So I guess it looks like we have a break in the schedule, but I think just in the interest of not our meet hosts may have other places to go, so we'll probably end the session now. But I wonder, maybe it would be useful to try to set up a table, and you can have some more kind of Q&A if Sehyun or Nitesh are available, or people can just find you two in the lounge.
Yeah.
In case there's more questions that can be addressed here.
Is there a way to export all this chat or Q&A so I can put some table like already answered questions so people can check it? But or can I come back to this? Come back to here to check the chat and Q&A?
Well, the chat and Q&A disappears once we end the session. But I think once we go backstage, we might have some access to it until you click out. I don't know of a way to export it to like a text file though.
Okay. So I mean, as far as it
host might comment about that.
So once I enter in as a backstage, even after this session, I can still see chat and Q&A. I think.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then. Yeah, I can just extract all those things later.
I just wanted to add that we can potentially make this billing account available for longer if there are people who would use it for continuing to learn. Okay. So let us know. We have some decent amount of funds available in it. So, and ultimately, it's actually way less expensive than you think to run things on the cloud. Usually.
Yeah.
Sehyun knows how to run up some bills, but most people most people have a harder time. It takes some expertise to create significant bills.
Yeah, I know how to make large bills.
All right. Well, thanks again, Sehyun, Levi, Nitesh. We all got our appetite thoroughly whetted through this.
Thank you for being patient and then be part of our workshop, and hope you guys find something useful. And yeah, thank you.
Yes, ciao.